take some time, as a few other questions are implicit within your question. So you all will have to listen patiently. All, be it so, please speak. The brahmachari, becoming a little enthusiastic, began to speak. First of all, who am I? This is necessary to know. Then I will answer the question of mine, home, leaving, why, and so on. Who am I? As soon as we hear this question, immediately the words of Srila Sanatana Goswami come to mind. More or less, you have all heard his name? Friend, yes, we have read about Sanatana Goswami in a poem. There, in a very beautiful way, it is described that although Sanatana Goswami found a touchstone, he threw it under a tree like an ordinary rock. Later, when a Brahmin came to him on the order of Lord Shiva to pray for wealth, he told the Brahmin to take the touchstone from beneath the tree. And after the man took the jewel, however, he could understand his own foolishness. He came back to the feet of the Goswami Thakur's feet, bowed down and said, Ye dane hoya dani manyirena manamui pahara kanik Magyami nata shire etta bolinadi nire veliko manik. O sage, the treasure that made you so rich that you have no regard for a touchstone, bowing my head, I beg you for a fraction of that. Saying this, the Brahmin threw the touchstone into the water of the river. It is such a beautiful story. Brahmachari, the nature of great souls is difficult to understand. Although they themselves are liberated, they show themselves to endeavor in numerous ways for the welfare of the conditioned souls. Srila Sanatana Goswami was a very dear associate of Sriman Mahaprabhu. When Sriman Mahaprabhu went to Vrindavan, Srila Sanatana Goswami, for the welfare of all souls, left his position as the chief minister of Hussain Shah, all other temporary affairs, and his family life, as though it were stool, and came to the feet of Sriman Mahaprabhu in Kashi. On our behalf, he asked Sri Chaitanya Dev, Ke ami, kene amai, jare tapachoy. Who am I? Why do I suffer from the three miseries? Mahaprabhu knew the special qualifications of Sanatan. So even he said, Sab tattva jan tomar nahi tapachoy. You know everything and you do not suffer the three miseries. Still, for the education of people in general, you are asking these questions. So step by step, I will answer them. Please listen. Jiver Sarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. So if you don't know any other verse, do you know that verse? Okay. If you don't know any other verse, you can know this. Jiver Sarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. And Pandita Didi will tell you the meaning.
Where the jiva is spirit, soul, and Krishna's servant. The jiva is eternally Krishna's servant.
Yes, the swarup, right?
Yeah.
This is the intrinsic nature, the constitutional nature of every living soul, every jiva. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishna Nityadas. Krishnera Tatasta Shakti Beda Bed Prakash. The soul is by nature an eternal servant of Krishna. The soul is Krishna's marginal energy, a manifestation both different and non-different from Krishna. First, we have to see, who am I? In this regard, you will have to hear something more. So please be a little patient, as the plane of the discussion we are engaging in is completely self-contained. I think he means like has no reference point to this world, something like that. I think this might be like an idiomatic expression in Bengali. The gentleman humbly said, "Look, we don't understand much scripture and all that. And I don't think there is anyone here who is interested in understanding the purports of scriptural statements. So, as far as possible, you will have to teach us using reason." Brahmachari: "All right, I will try. But please remember that it is not possible to ascertain our nature or the nature of the Absolute with worldly reasoning, argument, knowledge, intelligence, scholarship, or anything of the like. Still, to give you an overview as far as possible, I will take help here from the reasoning, followed by the great souls." Suddenly, another gentleman broke his silence. He had been listening all this time, but now he took the role of the speaker and said, "Whether you speak based on reasoning or you speak based on scripture, if there is a subject of discussion, then there may be doubts, and when there are doubts, there will certainly be antitheses. So, without sound conclusions, should we listen to the talk of Tom, Dick, and Harry?" I wonder what the original Bengali was. Some equivalent, Bengali equivalent. It's really nice the way this is written, because he's like really, Gurudev's giving voice like to the things that we hear like now, the way that people respond to these things. We don't care about scripture, we want to hear about reasoning. And then another person, "Who are you?" Actually, we're not just going to listen to any random person. Brahmachari, with a gentle smile: "Certainly not. But by hearing your words, it seems that you are very fond of textbooks on argument. In any case, I will ask you a question. Can you say where it is said that logic and argument can ascertain the nature of the soul and the nature of the Lord? Objects in this material world may be subservient to the faculty of logic. But have you never heard that the soul cannot be perceived by any faculty other than the soul's own faculty of perception? What happens if we use a microscope with our ears? Can pictures be seen with a microphone? So how, with the instrument of logic, can we know or experience something that is beyond the scope of speech and thought? According to my conception, based on study of the scriptures, it is not possible to ascertain the soul or supersoul through argument. These are the statements of Vedic scriptures. Yatnena padito pyarta kusaler anumachibi abhiyukta tader anya taivo papadyate. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Even a conclusion carefully established by an expert can be overturned by someone else who is more qualified. Tarko pratishta not. There is no certainty in argument. Achincha kuluje bhava natam starkena yojaya. Do not analyze that which is inconceivable with argument. Nayam atma pravachanena labhyo namedaya nabahuna shutena. The super soul is not attained by reasoning, intelligence, or extensive learning. Nachanya kopi chiram vichinvan. Without his grace, no one can know the Lord, even after searching for a long time. Very nice. And there's also this Tarko Pratishtana, this, and Yudhisthira Maharaj in the Mahabharata, he makes a similar statement also. It's a very nice point, that someone who's, you may have two people arguing like a debating society, right? The conclusion is not necessarily dependent on who's representing the truth, but who's more skilled in argument. So simply by reason, analysis, this doesn't necessarily establish the right conclusion. What did you say?
I remember learning that in school. Like they showed us that by getting us to debate things that was like had to be on the side that was just completely like not okay, and they would move sometimes.
And then in my school they would try and demonstrate how great debating is.
Yeah, Kat was lucky. There are many statements like these in the Vedas and other scriptures. So I certainly am not saying that you should all listen to the talk of Tom, Dick, and Harry. I am saying that you should listen to the statements of the Vedas and the words of the great souls who are all-knowing. So nice. I saw that the gentleman, disheartened, was about to speak, but the previous gentleman quickly said, Brahmachariji, we have very little time. We have only one more station before we will get off. This is like gripping, actually. I'm like totally sucked in. It's so masterful, like in every sense, the storytelling aspect, the presentation of the Siddhanta. It's just wonderful. So now there's the element of time. We're running out of time. Give us the essence. Brahmachariji, we have very little time. We have only one more station before we will get off. So please finish what you have to say. When scholars go at one another, it does not appear that they will ever come to an end. I would love to do a dramatization of this, like a film. So one of our devotees made a play out of it. Brahmachari, okay, please listen to what I am saying. First, we have to see this body or this mind or something else. What am I? In this regard, there is a verse in the Gita Upanishad that will help us understand. Indriyani pranyahor indriyebhya paramanaha manasastu parabuddhir yobuddhe paratastu sa. You know this verse, right? Yes. Also, buddhir atma mahanpara. Within the body, the senses are foremost. But if we analyze this, we will find that the senses are simply servants of the mind. It's a very helpful verse. This is when in the talk that I gave last night for that recording, I was going through this verse. It's very helpful in especially for explaining things to newcomers. It gives like a clear analysis of the different levels of the material existence, the senses. The sense is the mind and the intellect. Within the body, the senses are foremost, but if we analyze this, we will find that the senses are simply servants of the mind. As someone who is unmindful does not hear a drum, even when it is beaten near their ear. Is it not? Again, even a crazy person has a mind, but because their intelligence is deranged, the powerful mind is not under their control. Everything about them is incoherent, out of order. So herein the conclusion comes that the intelligence is superior to both the mind and senses. Again, if even the intelligence does not have a shelter, a basis, a light, then it cannot become manifest or active. That is the soul, spiritual light, self-manifest truth. I think I'm going to stop there. It's a good place to stop. Oh no, there's just one more paragraph. It's so short. Consider further even when all the parts of the body are present. The whole body is motionless in the absence of one thing. Today, the boy we greatly adore, seeing his beauty, qualities, knowledge, and intelligence, whom today, if we do not see for a few moments, we cannot remain calm. If he dies tomorrow, then what will we do? Not keeping his body, a thing we were very attached to, which was very beautiful and very dear to us in the house, we take it straight to the crematorium ground to obliterate it completely. Even though our heart breaks with grief by doing so, we do it. Why? We well know that he who resided in that body for so long, who laughed and played with us, who sulked and became upset with us, today is no longer there. He has left that body with its senses, and now that body will rot. So we can clearly understand that the body is not the person. The body is their house, their residence. The person who resided there has left. They are known as the impression-carrying soul. When the soul is not present, the body made of earth, water, fire, air, and space is simply an inanimate object devoid of consciousness, desire, and action. Unfinished. So this was like part 1 that Gurudev published, and then he was planning to complete it and publish in another edition, but he never did. So nice, so nice. Jai Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Swami Maharaj. We're missing our pujari. What should we do? Should we sing Hari Haraya Nama Krishna?
Yeah.
Let's see where he is, because it's already past 6.
Well, in any case, it'll take him a few minutes to prepare the tray.
The plate's ready, but
Oh, the
I
plate.
don't see a pujari.
Okay. Well, what should we do? Should we just stop the recording then, or?
Sure. It dropped out a few times.
It's been doing that lately. Yeah.
It's fine now. It's because